so I'm going to try my hand at doing some Fathead dough. It looks delicious and it is a low-carb alternative, so I'm taking you guys on the journey with me because I've never made it before. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, so let's see if I can do it. So the first step is we need to set our oven at 425. Let me do that first before I make everything, and we'll get started. Alright, so here are the ingredients you're going to need for the Fathead dough. I'm going to use Bob's Red Hill almond flour, and they suggest using this super fine, so that's what I'm going to use. And then I'm going to use mozzarella cheese, and I've been told it's better to buy the pre-shredded because there is a little bit of starch in it that helps with the binding of it, so that's what I'm going to try today. I'm going to make a double batch, so I've got 2 eggs, and then you need cream cheese. I'm going to try the 1/3 less fat variety, but we'll see if that works or not. Usually I don't do that on a first try through recipe, but I am today. So first up, I'm going to put 1.5 cups of the almond flour. I'm going to do this part first because after the cheese comes out of the microwave, you got to work fast. So I'm not going to show you me measuring out, but it is 1.5 cups, and I'm doubling my recipe. I've also decided I'm going to add just a little bit of salt because with most baked goods, that helps bring out the flavor. So I'm just going to add a pinch of salt. I'm not going to go crazy here. And then because it's Italian, I am going to add in some Mrs. Dash. I have some garlic and herb mix that I really like a lot, and I think that will add nice flavor, so I'm going to try that too. Again, here I am experimenting, people, when I probably shouldn't be, but I'm just going to add a little splash of that in there, not too much. And then I'm going to get the cheese ready next. So I am going to put in 3 cups of the shredded cheese and 1/4 cup of the cream cheese into a bowl to get ready to microwave. So that's where I'm going next. And I'm using a 4-cup measurer, and so that's what it looks like. I'm going to stick it in the microwave now, and they suggest 30-second intervals, and you mix as you go to get it a good consistency, so that's what I am going to do. One-handed, she said optimistically. So in it goes. Have fun, little cheese. Here we go, 30 seconds, and go, and we'll be back. Right, 30 seconds is done. It doesn't look like much has happened yet, but that's okay. You still want to take it out, and I'm going to stir this. So this smushed up better, but it's still not there yet. So it's going to go in for another 30 seconds, but it's definitely starting to melt, and we are getting there. So it's been 1 minute so far. We're going in for another 30. And this is what it's supposed to look like, I think. So this took 2.5 minutes, and that could be because of the quantity, and it also depends on your microwave. So I'm going to quickly go ahead and add in, you have flour and the eggs, but I don't want to cook the eggs because this is hot. So I'm going to put the flour in first, and that's why I pre-mixed it. Actually, I think I'll put this straight in to the bowl and then go from there. Okay, so I'm just going to mix this almond flour with it, and then I will add the eggs in, so I'll be back. Okay, and here it is after I mix it all together. I went in with my hands. I would not recommend the almond flour on the bottom because it was a little hard to get the almond flour in. Now I'm going to just make a small individual pizza for me, so I'm going to cut this up, I think, into 4 pieces. So I'll get back after I do that. Okay, there's the extra. Here's the pizza. I have a parchment lined. It's really sticky dough. So I'm going to put this on, and I'll see. I'll probably use my rolling pin and roll it out. They suggest to do it pretty thin, like 1/4 inch, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'll be back when I have that pressed out. Alright, and there's the dough. They suggest you prick it so you don't get bubbles on it. Mine's pretty thin. I like it pretty crispy. So that's what I'm going to do. It seems kind of large, but it'll probably shrink up in the oven. So going in the oven, and we'll check on it in a little bit. All right, and here it is coming out of the oven. That looks like what it's supposed to look like. So it's not all the way baked, but now I'm going to add my sauce and my toppings to it. And just so you can see, I rolled out the rest while that was in the oven, and I made smaller, more individual pizzas. So I got 4 small ones, individual, which is more of what I would eat. And then the last batch, I've decided to make breadsticks. So I cut those up. I just put salt on them, and I'm going to put some rosemary on top and bake those off. All right, and here's my pizza all dressed up. I put on it some marinara sauce. If you've never tried the Trader Joe's marinara sauce, it's fantastic. Doesn't have any added sugar and just clean ingredients. So you don't use much. It said in the recipe 1/4 cup, but I didn't even use that much because I know you shouldn't overdress it. And then I have spinach on there and onion, and I had some Italian salami that I put on there and some mozzarella cheese and a little bit of Parmesan over the top. And it's ready to go in the oven. And here it is coming out of the oven. Looks good, right? I'm going to let it cool for a while and put the other stuff in the oven, and then I'll come back and show you how it looks. All right, so here's the pizza in all its glory. Now, it's not that crispy, but I'm going to see how it tastes here. Cut up a piece. I know it's done, though, just because of the darkness of the crust. So here I am. I'm going to try the pizza, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion. So if it's gross, I will tell you it's gross. Wow. That tastes just like pizza crust to me. And all it's got is egg, cheese, and almond flour in it. Holy cow. Let me try just the crust here so I can get more of the flavor of that for you. It does taste like pizza crust. The edges are crispy. Maybe I could have cooked it longer, I don't know. But you guys, I think this is a winner. I'm giving it a thumbs up. All right, my experiment is over. And you know what? That was delicious. I would totally make that again. And so how it ended up is I had that one larger pizza from the first one I did. And then I cut that into 4 pieces. So each piece was a meal for us. So I kind of wish I'd done individual pizzas for that. So there was 4 there. And then I made 4... individual pizzas. I cooked those off for 8 minutes, pulled them out, and then I'm going to put those in the freezer because you can pull those out, put toppings on them, and then cook them for another 4 to 6 minutes with the toppings on them, and then you'll have pizza and it'll be easy and fast. I also made a set where I tried to do breadsticks, not so successfully, just because they were too flat. They had the taste of a breadstick, though. I put Parmesan cheese and Italian seasonings on top, and it was really good tasting, but they were just flat little discs, and they weren't crispy enough to be like crackers, so I don't know. I heard that if you put them in a dehydrator, that they come out like crackers, so that's something to experiment with. I also have heard if you don't put the Italian seasonings in the Fathead dough, that you can use it in a waffle maker and make waffles. So there's also, and make cinnamon rolls, stuff like that. So, but I'd say for pizza dough, now I'm being serious because if it was gross, I would tell you so. Out of 10, 10 being the best pizza I ever had in the world. No, it's not that good. But for it not being any carbs in the bottom except for, well, I don't know if there's any carbs because it's just almond flour. So I guess there could be some carbs there, but I would give it for the low carb stuff that we need to eat. Gosh, it was at least a 9. It was really tasty. I didn't miss having a regular pizza crust. I've stayed away from the cauliflower crust, although I hear they're good, but I don't like cauliflower at all. Even the smell of it makes me feel gross, and I know you're not supposed to really be able to taste it, but this was delicious because, of course, it was just cheese in the bottom. And it was easy to make, easy to bake off. It really wasn't hard at all. You just had to use parchment paper to roll it out because it was really sticky.